sip. Odd squats here, let your thoughts flip. We break it down, what it means to you. Suburb fam is the thing to do. Late night trip, come and take a sip. Odd squats here, let your thoughts flip. We break it down, what it means to you. Suburb fam is the thing to do. West Coast breeze runs through the sound. We live the stories that shake the ground. Catch the whispers, the truth untold. Stay locked in while the night unfolds. Jam brings the fire, Dame lays it smooth. Together they groove with the latest moves. Odd squad rolling, we in the zone. Tune in fam, you're never alone. Late night drip, come and take a sip. Odd squad's here, let your thoughts flip. We break it down, what it means to you. Suburb fam is the thing to do. Late night drip, come and take a sip. Odd squad's here, let your thoughts flip. We break it down, what it means to you. Suburb fam is the thing to do. Behind the lights where the stories thrive. We dig deep, keeping the vibe alive. News with soul is a journey we take. Stay tuned fam for every break. Late night trip, come and take a sip. Our squad's here, let your thoughts flip. We break it down, what it means to you. Suburb fam is the thing to do. Late night trip, come and take a sip. Our squad's here, let your thoughts flip. We break it down, what it means to you. Suburb fam is the thing to do.
Oh, neon glow in the midnight haze. Gambling Dame got you caught in the wave. Headlines drop like the baseline plays. Yeah. Tune in tight, turn it up right. Let's ride this vibe till the morning light. Late night trip, we got the tea. Odd squad fam, it's you and me. What it means, what it means. This is where we spill. Late night trip, we got the tea. Odd squad fam, it's you and me. What it means, what it means. This is where we spill the scene. Scrolling truths in the glow of the screen. Breaking down what the madness means. News so wild, feels like a dream. Lights stay low, voices flow. Gem and Dame, the late night show. Late night trip, we got the tea. Odd squad fam, it's you and me. What it means, what it means. This is where we spill. Late night trip, we got the tea. Odd squad fam, it's you and me. What it means, what it means. This is where we spill the scene.
Under moonlight glow, the vibe is tight. Gem and Dame on the mic till the break of night. We bring the heat while the city's asleep. News so deep, Raindrops falling like life's endless speed. In the street we move with swagger on repeat. Neon lights reflecting on the wet concrete. In this daily drip shows hypnotic heat. Every step we take, synchronized and bold. Underneath the storm, our stories unfold. In the city glow, our fashion never old.
Raindrops fall on city pavement, washing secrets in the dark. Daily drip, the crowd's amazement. Knowledge streaming comes to spark. Thunder in the nighttime sky.
Get them ready. What up? What up?
Hey y'all, it's me, Jim Jones, your solo drip host, and I am coming late to y'all with this late night drip. Happy y'all could be with me here today. We're gonna talk techie with me. A little bit of that sprinkled in with a little bit of news, sprinkled in with a little bit of what's going on overall. But thank you for coming to talk techie with me. Once again, I am Jim Jones. I come to you with over a decade's worth of tech experience, and I'm just here to give you a little bit of drip, a little drip for you to think on, just a tiny bit about what's going on, a few things to bring to your attention. Don't have to agree with me. You can disagree with me, but just bringing it here to bring it to you. And it's not super duper late night. It's so weird because oh man, time zone. Time changed over the weekend and everybody is so messed up, including me. So thank y'all for coming to hang out with me. So let's talk about automation. So let's be real here. Automation doesn't eliminate the need for people. It just raises the stakes for having the right people. So that is what I want you to keep in mind. Because we're going to talk tech layoffs. We're going to talk about layoffs, talking about server farms, and then we're talking about efficiency. Super fun stuff. Definitely want to talk to y'all about that. Before we get in there, let's talk about what's in your cup. This is for me. I have some sparkling water along with some element tea. So I decided to element tea is like a electrolyte drink. I decided to pour some of that together. So like a lemonade element LMNT and some lemon sparkling water and mix that. Not too bad. It's hitting. So that's what's in my cup. So shout out to Plain Dame. He's not here with me today. My guy has been putting in the hours at the job, so I appreciate him so much for rocking with me. He will be back eventually, but right now, y'all got me, and that's cool. And also, our producer is on vacation, so sometimes we let him take some time off. So y'all got me. All right. So like I said, I come with some tech experience, just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. Because with everything going on, if there's anything I learned, is that the problem is never technology. It's always that Gary deleting the production database on a Friday at 4:59 p.m. What do I mean by that? If you've ever been impacted by stuff not working, right? It could be your phone. Y'all ever get on the phone? Boop, boop. I ain't got no service. What's going on? I'm literally in the middle of whatever. Ah, well, someone possibly could have been doing their job, or maybe they thought that someone was going to do their job super duper well. Speaking of doing your job super duper well, first thing on the list, let's talk about that developer out in Ohio who decided that it was a good idea to go ahead and build this plant for the servers. You have everything ready to go. Didn't have it ready to go. So let's go ahead and share this IG with y'all. All right. So $1 billion data center, Central Ohio runs out of power. So Couldn't find a super ton of this, but this is what I could find. So apparently, a data center was planned by Sentinel Data Centers in West Jefferson. It was canceled because he didn't actually secure sufficient electrical capacity. Okay, so AKA meaning he needed to take all this electricity to power this and continue to power this. And yeah, he didn't do that. Why is this a problem, right? It's a problem, and I'm not even gonna get into that whole conversation, but it's a problem because a lot of times, I don't know about in this instance, I have to research that. But a lot of times, and I believe it is similar to this, but a lot of times the energy company gives like, I don't want to say abatements, but they give incentives, right, to build in whatever area, and it would use that source. And sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes they pass that on to the consumer. And so we end up paying more all of a sudden. Let's say you live in a house by yourself, right? My house live there. You know what I'm saying? You paying 50 tops if you have like a light party, right? Like let's say you pay a 50. All of a sudden they build this data center, boom, it's $100. You're like, wait a minute. I turn off the air, the heat. You know what I mean? I wear sweat clothes in the winter and I be naked in the summer. Like you're doing all the things to save energy and yet your bill is still $100. Well, you have a data center, that might be why. But this developer right here was not thinking about that. So I got another video that I want to show y'all talking about these data centers. In case you don't know, let's talk about a data center before I get into that video. So data centers, when y'all go through the internet and anytime you click stuff and we talk about cookies and all this other stuff, whatever, whenever y'all clicking stuff and they're keeping the information, there's a place that it's got to go. Whether whatever that information being passed is, that's like what allows that to happen and be saved there. So you can imagine if there's like on a worldwide, like it's not like they only have your information. You live in Montana, right? It's not like Montana only got data centers for all of Montana. Like it don't work like that. It's like all over the place. So like I said, it's kind of a big deal. So
Percentage of data centers built across the country in a year. Columbus now ranks number 1 here in Central Ohio, according to JLL, a national global real estate company.
And all those data centers require water and power. And there are debates across the country about what impacts data centers will have on water supplies and the cost of electricity. 10 TV reporter Kevin Landers takes a closer look at the impacts here in Central Ohio.
Licking County is Central Ohio's hub for data center construction. Inside these massive buildings house the technology that power our digital world, from AI technology to Bitcoin transactions. There are at least 100 and
okay, so look at this. This is wild. Okay. Look at all of these. All of these are different places where they're keeping information, right? I know this map is probably really, really hard to see. So I'm sure this map is kind of hard to see, but like that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. And so it takes electricity, water. Who you think paying for that? I mean, they might be paying for it, but chances are people in the area probably are. And that's why it's of concern.
20 data centers in the Columbus area. These massive warehouses require millions of gallons of water to cool them. Joe Davis is a data center specialist for JLL.
We've seen trends towards much lower water usage. There's been a few projects up in the New Albany submarket that use as much water as like an office building would.
But there remain concerns. Researchers at the University of California, Riverside estimate that each 100-word AI prompt consumes approximately 519 milliliters of water.
Okay, so wait a minute. Let's talk about AI prompts. So when you go and say, hey, I don't want to shout any of the platforms, hey, such and such chat bot, give me an answer for XYZ thing. for every 100 times someone does that, what they're saying is it takes this much water. So keep that in mind. When they say prompt, that's what they mean. I think we talked about this before, but just want to remind y'all.
Which is roughly 1 bottle of water.
Mm.
While there are reports of data centers exasperating water supplies in other parts of the country, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources believes Central Ohio's aquifers can handle the growth here. Quote, in Central Ohio, there are areas endowed with substantial groundwater resources that could support.
But hold on, let's look at this. They're talking about, oh, well, we got the water. We got the water. We can do this. Yep. Who's paying for the water? Water's got to get in. Water's got to get out. Water has to go around. And that's why that last article was interesting, because you have to set up that stuff before you start building stuff and before you start wiring stuff up. Because if you start wiring stuff up and you don't have electricity, water, and all the things you need, you're either if you do get lucky enough to set it up without, killing yourself or burning place down, you could be causing excessive usage of the resources, which is a problem, especially if it passes on to the local people or the people in the state who have to pay for that. Now, you see, they ain't talking about nothing about no money.
Support additional growth, be it from data centers or any other high-capacity groundwater user. The use of groundwater in Central Ohio is a constitutionally protected property right. ODNR has the authority to investigate conflicts between groundwater users.
I'm not concerned about like dips in the water supply on folks' homes.
Data centers rely on air cooling, which is water intensive, or liquid cooling systems, which are more efficient. Closed loop cooling can cut freshwater use by up to 70% by reusing water. Davis says data center operators are also looking at conserving energy use as well.
Which is
normally data centers get power from the grid, and now we're seeing these behind the meter where the company actually owns and generates their own power.
He says that takes pressure off the electrical grid.
That's an emerging trend. We think we're going to continue to see it, partially because of the grid constraints.
Emerging trend, meaning that it's usually very costly, or it's going to be very difficult to find those people who specialize in that, meaning that more than likely the mass majority do not use this at all. So when they start saying it's emerging, that means that it's rare, or not that many are using this. So as he's talking about, like, that's great and all, but in the meantime, everybody else's stuff is being sucked out potentially.
That are just happening across the market.
And it's a concern. U.S. data centers used about 4.4% of the nation's electricity in 2023, and their share is expected to double or come close to tripling by 2028. As for the demands on water, ODNR tells 10TV it will be monitoring water use closely and ensure withdrawals do not unreasonably affect other users. Kevin Landers.
That's crazy, though. Unreasonably affect, right? There's no definition of what unreasonably is. Oh, there's a comment in there. There's no definition of what unreasonably is. Okay. That's a good idea. So shout out to Joe for the comment. Nice to see you here, Joe. Make them use solar and wind power to offset costs. That's definitely a possibility. I know, to me, when I think about different places in the world, if you're on the West Coast, like if you were in maybe Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, depending on where you at in Texas. Some of those places could probably do well with the solar energy. And then I would imagine for the Midwest, like Midwest and the East Coast, and like more northern, wind could totally be helpful. But yeah, that's a potential good opportunity there. That's a good thought process. So why do I bring this up? So we're talking about, oh, there's so much technology. We need these data centers. We need all this here in XYZ. Meanwhile, we got these companies talking about, we're so advanced, you don't even need your job. So much that job cuts are the highest that they've been in 22 years, which is crazy. Very, very crazy. I know y'all have seen it. I know y'all have seen the LinkedIn posts from folks. Yeah, I've been let go of my job after X money. It's not even typically people been there like 6 months. Like they're letting people go been there 7, 10, 15 years, which is wild. And they usually frame it as this is for efficiency or AI enablement, or we're streamlining, we're having a shift in how we use automation. Um, but it's really kind of a bit of a mistake sometimes because you are assuming that automation is self-sustaining and self-correcting. AI didn't help with not making sure you got electricity in the spot. He obviously he ain't run his plan through AI, which is just wild. It's just wild. Human touch is still needed, but hey, let's go ahead and talk about these layoffs because the thought process is we don't need all them folks.
Amid the government shutdown, markets are looking for clues about the health of the job market. Steve Leisman joins us with the latest numbers from Challenger on job cuts. What's going on?
Yeah, well, this is like a clue from like a cough or a sneeze or whatever. But announced corporate job cuts, Andrew, in the U.S. surging past 1 million so far this year, with 153,000 new layoffs announced just in October, according to Challenger. That is the worst October since 2003. Here are the numbers. October up 153. That compares with September. That's 100,000 more than September.
Let's pause this. That's crazy. So corporate layoffs in October so a year ago, it was at 56,000. In September of this year, it's trending, right? So like that's kind of normal. Then boom, out of nowhere, October, 153,000. It's interesting because typically, if I'm not mistaken, usually September, October are big hiring months. That's crazy that it's a huge layoff time. But hey, AI is trending, right?
And 100,000 more than this time last year in October 2024. Andy Challenger commenting, some industries are correcting after the hiring boom of the pandemic, but this comes as AI adoption, softening consumer and corporate spending, and rising costs drive belt tightening and hiring freezes. Announced layoffs don't always lead to actual cuts and could take place.
Let's look at these. Let's look at these. So, I mean, let's be honest here. Efficiency is not the same as resilience, and a smaller team can be brilliant, but a smaller wrong team is a disaster. Definitely, possibly a disaster. But hey, who am I to say? Companies on this list. We got UPS. We're going to talk about them in a minute. Target, which is insane. Starbucks, if I'm not mistaken, they had already tried to force these folks into the office and then also did a round of layoffs not too long ago. I think either earlier this year or was a part of it last year. You got Amazon coming in year after year, Meta coming in year after year, IBM been coming in year after year. I'm trying to remember who else. There's somebody else on this list that they're missing that's been hit. Oh, Microsoft. They didn't even put Microsoft on there either. Microsoft been going in, I believe, rumor has it that Microsoft about to do some layoffs again as well. They did a huge layoff. Maybe 2 years ago? Crazy, y'all.
From attrition, but the report puts in perspective what we've been reporting here day after day, week after week. Series of marquee announcements unveiled in recent weeks across U.S. industries, including UPS, Amazon, Target, among others, Paramount, Rivian, all these companies there. Government has been responsible year to date for 308,000. But look at that, tech one.
Okay, so let's pause this. Let's look at these numbers. I'm not surprised at the tech or warehousing, right? Retail, yes. Just because, I mean, it's about to hit high season, but then again, people aren't buying because they don't have money. Services, I'm assuming it's stuff like cruises, stuff like that too. I think if we really look at these numbers, that the job cuts in the government have been heavy. Like that's super impactful. And to me, if I had to analyze this, I think this really is the difference between last year and this year. This is huge. This is huge, y'all.
41, that could be where you see a lot of the AI, maybe some in warehousing, but a big chunk of that's going to be UPS, as well as potentially some hit from reduced flows of trade. Retail's up there, as is services at 64,000. You take out the Doge cuts, the number's a bit better at 800,000, but still well above last year. Challenger doesn't see much in the way of hiring, saying announced plans are 35% below last year, and they're skeptical about the number of new hires for the holiday season. For some on the Fed, this data, together with other reports, could be the sign they're looking for of job weaknesses about whether to cut in December. Well, guess what? We get to ask a member of the Fed that question directly, 8:30 when we sit down.
So I'm going to stop it there. Laying off folks. They claim it's AI, but if you look at the biggest contributor to that, it's the government. And those jobs in the government, and y'all, the jobs will drip in the comments. Let me know if y'all work for the government. I don't believe they really have a ton of ways to automate their jobs. I really don't. I don't think there's a ton of automation in the government. So when people say, "Oh, it's because of AI," is it? What y'all think? Y'all think this large uptick in layoffs either were or can be for AI and automation? Let me know. I can say I've been laid off before, and I it was not like this. It sucked. Like, it definitely sucks because if you're not a lazy employee, you do what you're supposed to do. You've been told you've been a great employee, and then all of a sudden they're like, we just don't got space for you. It's like, you can't sit here. You can't sit here. And it just sucks. I actually couldn't imagine being laid off, A, right before the holidays, and B, you think you gonna furlough me and not pay me? I'll get to the furlough in a second. My layoff story. Not much to it. Doing my job, mind my business, get out of meeting. Yeah, did so good. Instantly cut access. You don't even know what's going on. You get an email. Hey, we'll tell you what happened this afternoon. This afternoon? So the whole time, you don't know if you're getting paid, how much you're getting paid, what the situation is. It's just a horrible feeling. Horrible. I could not imagine getting that email. And then at the bottom of it says, oh, by the way, you air traffic control. Make sure you go to work. What? Okay, so Joe got a comment. So you've been laid off as a result of other companies having layoffs. That sucks, which impacted our work. A lot of people don't talk about the downstream impacts. That's true too. So you could totally get laid off because the place that you service no longer makes money or has money for you. And so now you lose your job because they lost the account or lost whatever it is. And you just out of luck. Like, you didn't have nothing to do with whatever happened. You're essentially collateral damage is what you're saying. Like, you're basically collateral damage. And that's absolutely terrible. And I'm sorry. I hope that you were able to bounce back from that, Joe. Sounds absolutely terrible. But I will say, just imagine, y'all. Imagine you lose your job without losing your job. So you're not getting paid, but I want you to come to work. Let's talk about some of the human components that are good that I think we take for granted when we think about automation, when we think about laying off people, and that essentially you're signaling that they're replaceable. Humans are not labor units. They detect patterns. They are able to sift through ethical immorality. They're the ones who can notice business risk beyond from a strict data point rule. Okay, so what does that mean? So a human can tell you, I know there's a lot of jobs in, like, for example, HR that's being automated, but in context of what's kind of being said, unless it's like specific trigger words, like if someone literally said harassment, like, yeah, it'd be like ding, 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 right? But if someone says something like, this makes me feel, and they use some slang word, there's a chance that it might not pick that up, that this is going towards, you know, harassment, right? Like however, if you are a human, you can read body language, which it probably will eventually be able to do that too, right? Um, and be able to pick up on what's trending now as far as the human interaction. And mm, I think we're gonna get into this Kentucky plane crash situation because when people feel disposable, they stop preventing disasters and start working like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Dang. Because they ain't getting paid. They're not getting paid. We're gonna reach the point where they're gonna say, I'm not paid enough to care about the thing that's broken. And if we continue to treat our people like this in layoffs, that's what we're gonna get. And unfortunately, that is what I'm going to show y'all in a second. This is Louisville, Kentucky, and out of nowhere, absolutely insane. That looks like Independence Day. It literally does not look like something that's happened in real life. Um, we gotta stop furloughing folks, man. Like the whole plane situation. Like I don't know if y'all are hip. I did bring an article up about it, but I don't know if y'all hip. They have canceled. It was like 40. It was I think it was 40 different airlines. It was four. Sorry, it's like four airlines. I think it was like American, Delta, Southwest, and someone else. They all are reducing flights. And then you have certain airports where it's affected. So I'll drop a link so y'all can see which airports are affected in case you're interested. But there's not enough people. And I don't understand why we think AI can do something that it has not proven to be efficient in. So, for example, air traffic control, for example, detecting that this was going unfavorably fast enough, right? We have to have enough people to do some of these jobs. And I just think it's unfortunate. It's just absolutely unfortunate. The planning, the execution, and the assumption that AI will save you is getting out of control. On top of the fact that the way it's going about without direct efficiency is affecting the economy. It's going to affect the economy. All those people, this is my last piece of it. All those folks, all those folks that these companies call themselves laying off are in fact consumers, right? These people who are going to get on an airplane. These are people from who are those companies where people they're servicers, meaning that that people are going to use the money that they work for to put back into those companies and buy products, and that makes you profitable and investments. And if people don't have money because we think we're going to automate everything and then the automation is not ready or efficient or not favorable, it's not, like I said before, it's not necessarily making our lives less challenging, but a plane crashing in Louisville is not helpful. And I think that there needs to be some more thoughts around how we see automation really helping us and being more strategic about when you're going to lay people off. And I hate to say more regulations, but I think there needs to be another layer of regulation on AI. But I believe the one big beautiful bill basically will not allow that. So here we are. All right, y'all. Well, I just wanted to bring that up to y'all for this late night drip. Bring it to y'all's attention. Get a little bit of drip in tonight. Very much appreciate y'all dripping with me. If you like what you have heard, very quick, not a long one, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you are not already. Make sure you share this with 2 people you like and someone you don't, and your auntie. Share with your auntie too. Very much appreciate y'all being here, and I will see y'all again Friday night. I forgot the time zone was this weekend to give a better promo of things, but I think we'll be going a little bit earlier moving forward just because time zone shift will have to be so late. So shout out to daylight savings. All right, y'all. I am out of here. I am Jim Jones, your solo host, and I will see y'all next Friday at, trying to remember what time it is, at 10:30 EST, possibly 11 EST. We'll see what's going on. Try to get Plain Dane back as well. All right, y'all. Out of there. See y'all later.
Laugh, every tear, every word defies breaking down the world in a suit and tie. Late night drip, let it hit, let it slip. News so slick, got you caught in a grip. Ooh, show some love, join the vibe. Don't trip.